Got gas moving in. Your fight's over, so... Check your weapons, check your gear. We're holding for deployment. Coming. Playtime's over. Stand by for deployment to the war zone.
Prep for dust off. We're up in 3 mics. Let's move. Gang's all here. Word came down. We are green to go. So gear up and grab your chutes. We're going to the war zone. Enemy activity will be high. Expect contact early and often.
Let's get this done. Battle Royale. Be advised, gas is closing in. Proceed to the safe zone. Enemies dropping into the AO.
Marking contract.
Gas is closing in.
Ich hasse dieses Spiel.
Found the guy. Marking contract.
Got a loadout drop inbound. Bounty targets are up. Get after them. All bounty targets destroyed. Hell of a job. The enemy took that one, but we'll get them back. Check your gear and weapons. We'll be deploying shortly. Enemies are dropping into the area. Watch the skies. All stations, this is Shadow 01. Deployment to the war zone has been authorized.
Prep for dust off. We're up in 3 mics. Let's move. There we are. Head shed gave the green light. We're deploying you to the front lines. Gear up, grab your chutes. Rules of engagement are simple. Weapons free on all threats.
I'll see you on the other side. Battle Royale. Keep clear of that gas. Get to the safe zone.
Marking contract. Marking contract.
You're losing ground. Move it. Bounty targets identified. Weapons free. All bounty targets are KIA. Well done. Enemy buy station incoming. Failure ain't fatal. It's just an opportunity. Use this time for some target practice. Real thing's coming soon. All stations, green light. We are deploying to the war zone.
Let's get that bird spinning. Finish up. We're airborne in 3. There you are. We got the green light. You're going to the war zone. Grab your gear and shoot. You're up in 3. Enemy activity will be high.
Hello, mate. You right?
Expect contact early and often.
Yeah, good.
Just turn the volume down on my game and turn you up a bit.
Yeah, all good.
Battle Royale. Gas is approaching on your position. Move to the safe
Yeah,
zone.
now things.
Cash
It's
dropping
all right.
around.
Yeah, I mean, still technically on holiday, so not a lot's really going on. You?
I'm back working again, but it's really kind of, you know, next week is when it's more sort of significant, I suppose, is the way to say it. Like at the moment, I do feel like I'm just sort of messing around a little bit, just working out what I'm going to be doing this year, where I'm getting my content from, and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, like at the moment, I've got still probably a reasonable amount of free time, I'd say. I'm having I mean, it's more of a personal thing, but I'm getting they just did this Down syndrome thing on Dragon's Den, where they had these kids pitching this sock company, and Stephen Bartlett's given them the money. So I spoke to him and I said I'd give them some promotion. Spoke to him tonight basically, and he was very quick to come back. So we're going to try and get that going. So that's quite good. I was trying to think if there was a way, if there was an angle I could drop in Moon Carter. I was trying to think, because he's got a good amount of followers, and sometimes with people like that you just have to frame it the right way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yours for the Warriors.
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't
You're
it? It's
RTB.
often like I messaged around
We
a
lost
load
that
of
one,
people
but
I
we'll
know
get-
that have got podcasts, and I was sort of saying, you know, have you got any digital agents? You know, did more agents that are more digital friendly? And everyone was like, no. But really, what I was saying is, can you retweet one of my things, or can
Yeah.
I come on your show? But if you ask people outright, the smell of desperation just gets you fucked. It just gets you thrown out, doesn't it? Really, people.
You need to set
people
up a
don't like being
second
put in-
email.
Yeah, people don't like being put in that position, do they?
You need to be your own. You need to be like your own digital agent under another name. That's something that my old CEO used to do. He used to have a second email account, and his name was Davina. And
Right.
the guy was like a multi-millionaire, and it used to make me laugh that he used to sit in an Overtel on this account as this Davina something or other.
Yeah.
And he used to basically broker deals on behalf of himself. You know, like, would you like, if we might have the availability of, you know, property developer and businessman Gavin de Rothschild, which was, I don't know if that was his real name. Like, he was one of those guys that was always in Monaco, and he owned the company before I did. And it was just one of many things he owned, and he always used to, you know, speak on his own behalf
yeah.
as Davina, and it used to always make me laugh. But it works. Do you know what I mean? It just does. It just works. Like people who pull out all the tricks.
Yeah, definitely. It's always worth doing it, isn't it?
I've been listening to it with Miles. We were listening to the episode with Zephyr arriving yesterday.
Oh yeah.
He really enjoys it. He yeah, he does this little Makaton sign for more. He can say more, but he says it and he does a little bit of sign language. So that's how it's very helpful because you can tell when he's enjoying something. So yeah, we sat and gave him a listen to that, and he goes more. But he seems to be able to tell if you put a different episode on. He wanted the same one again. So even though it starts exactly the same, it's really strange.
We're headed to the war zone. Get geared up and stand by.
Yeah, I think we came off the Guardians list today, but to tell the truth, it hasn't had a humongous effect. The Guardian thing, it was more something we can use.
Yeah, like
We still seem to be averaging about 50 downloads a day.
well, you're building a CV for it, aren't you? Basically, like you're building
Enemies
a
are dropping into the area.
a referenceable, you know, you want like things that can show credibility
All stations,
instantly
we are
when you're
green to go.
pitching to
Stand by
someone
for
else for
deployment.
getting involved in some way. Basically, like here when we were featured in the Guardian, here we were featured there, and you're looking for compound interest of these things all just adding up, really. It's like I remember when we were always talking about Twitter, like a Limmy raid was good for a bit, but that's it. It's compound interest always wins.
Hot on all threats. Watch your
Yeah.
ass down there.
Yeah, you seem to.
Let's roll.
Yeah,
Battle
something we really
Royale.
have control over, really. What else was I going to say?
Gas is
Yeah,
below
well,
the
we got
position.
next week. I
Right
take the
out
foot
there.
off the accelerator anyway, because I've got to deliver the second series, and I think we'll have a lot more trust from viewers once they've seen the full 10 episodes, because
Enemies
you've
dropping
proven
into
you
the AO.
can finish something. Rather than the 5.
Yeah. When I was listening to it, I still find it quite remarkable that you've managed to layer the audio to that degree, because that's the one thing. Like I can video edit and stuff, but I really don't enjoy messing with audio. Like it's just hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like-
Yeah.
Give it a solid try.
You know, like the attack and stuff, like all the various different layers of sound and how there's no occlusion or anything like that, so you don't lose things that are supposed to be features of the foreground to like the large cataclysmic incidents that are happening, if you know what I mean. Like that's I think it's called occlusion, and that's really difficult to do correctly and kind of painstaking. And the idea of learning it as you go, to me, I was just thinking like, fucking hell, this was a bit of an undertaking.
Yeah, it was stop and start all the time. Like, why is this not working with this? You know, it was a long process. But you find what you know, like when you're interested in it, that gives you a lot of leeway to sit down and go, okay, why isn't this working? Do you know what I mean? You're a bit more into it. Labour of love, I think. You know, like I literally can't wait to get back to it. And it is a ball ache. It's a fucking living nightmare. But I kind of enjoy the chaos of it all.
And you've seen some end product as well, and you've seen that there's people that like it enough
All
to
the
be downloading
time.
it.
That was the biggest problem with Twitch, is there was just zero end product. It was so immediate, much like doing a podcast that is all about the next episode.
Yeah.
It's just, I just don't see how. I think that unless your podcast goes huge, it's such a rod for your own back.
Well, there's plenty of time for that. That's a good thing with podcasts as well. They don't always pick up straight away, but they, you know, like it takes a while to build a following. Basically, like it's a viral hit would be lovely because it would certainly start. You know, it gives you like a launch pad and it certainly feels good. But yeah, it's like I was saying before, it's that compound interest you want. You want that trickle down of like this person's been listening to it, that then it got recommended here, then it got recommended via Spotify because they listened to something similar in the list. You just want it indexing everywhere that you can get it. And yeah, like a few of those. Did you say you're on Mumsnet and things like that?
Check your
No,
gear and weapons.
we-
We'll be deploying shortly.
It's a bit of a challenge to get into that world because they're quite stringent.
Enemy soldier incoming.
Stuff, you know, they might not like the brassman because he's too scared of their children or something.
Yeah.
But I have to bow out after a while because Colin does press the charity that he works for,
Yeah.
dealing with children with high levels of autism. Genuine knowledge.
Enemies are dropping into
But
the
then
area.
he's got
Watch
work
the
and then he's
skies.
doing an MA at the minute, so he's getting paid accelerator next week. There's nothing we can really do about it. But I know, and I said to him, it's a bit of a fantastic start. We're totally buzzed about it, but we totally know that it's going to really have a massive drop off.
Playtime's over. Stand by for deployment to the war zone.
Be prepared to put a good 2 years into it before.
And not let it mentally affect you in any way. Just like I've committed to this. This is a 2-year commitment minimum. You know,
Yeah.
that's how you've got to do it. Like it's got to be not an emotional thing at some point, basically.
Rules of engagement are simple.
It's hard though.
I think so because it's almost impossible. But also, when it's all that you've got, it doesn't really matter.
I'll see you on the other side.
And you're in a much better position to do it as well because you're sustained, aren't you, by the voice acting and stuff like that, the
Yeah.
voice work. So
Yeah, I literally paid my tax yesterday, and
You got
it was
gas closing in
absolutely
fast.
fuck all,
Unhouse
and I've
yourself
got
to the safe
ages to
zone.
go
nice.
Marking
before I
contract.
need to give them any more.
I love the feeling of when there's been a miscalculation and they suddenly send you like $2,000 out of nowhere. It's like,
Yeah,
that's
oh,
always
it's
nice.
Just lush, isn't it? Just because you're always up against it. And I'm moving out of here in 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
Enemies dropping into the
I'm
AO.
moving in with the girlfriend, so
Oh nice.
we can have all my bills are
Positive
halving,
ID on the bounty
so
target.
I've got even
Hunt 'em down.
longer.
That was far too close.
So I'm in a really good place, but yeah, I messaged Colin today and I said, you know, be prepared for a drop off. This isn't going to be easy.
Yeah.
We also said he run a Facebook ad, and I said, oh, don't bother with any of that shit because it's just too. You know, I said the only way those sort of things work is that you pump thousands into it.
There's
and
always
keep
a bigger
it up.
budget, basically, buying the same
Yeah.
keywords.
And then he messaged me back and he said, "Oh, it was doing all right." And then we've suddenly attracted all these Mexicans. And I said, "Oh no, Colin, what if we become like a drug baron's favourite, his kid's favourite podcast, and we get kidnapped and flown out to Mexico, and we have to do live reads to the children, and then when we send the brassman back to his own people, they cry." And the Kalashnikovs get pointed at us, and we're like, no, he stays. He totally stays. And I went, "Oh, there's a comedy podcast in this, isn't there?"
Yeah, you've got a full narrative there.
And they all do whatever you want them to do. Yeah, it's a game. It's a game, man. I think that it's that blind belief that it's the only thing that really gets. Like I always said on Twitch, it's either it's stupidity or absolute faith. Whichever one you're using works.
It really more or less doesn't matter. Like as long as you keep going, you're always the odds are always improving. Do you know what I mean? Like if you've got there's no reason not to. And whenever you kind of go back and people kind of have a sort of little retrospective over a project they've made or anything like that, does it ever get off the ground on the first day ever? Like, and
No.
did they have to learn a little bit and this didn't work, we had to change that, and we thought this was never going to happen and all this sort of stuff. It's like, that's what I always try and remind myself with stuff, is like the plugging away aspect of it is quite important. Like yeah, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it really is. It's just like Michael Fenton. He's got a podcast called Time Capsule. I messaged him, and he said, "Well, look, well done for being noticed." He said it's one of the hardest things, but him and his son do it. They don't use anybody else really. So it's a nice thing, and you have to sort of keep it in mind, because you can like talk yourself out of it really.
Yep.
And go, "Well, we're only half, we're not even there," and blah, blah, blah. But we're not even a month old, and we've got 1,000 listens. And Colin did a podcast about folklore about 2 years ago, and to this day it still sits at 31 downloads, and we're nearly 1,000, not even a month into it.
So even from that perspective, he's probably feeling a level different about this than you are, if you know what I mean. Because you can't really quantify it initially. You just kind of, you think, oh, that seems quite good. Oh, it's it slipped down a bit. Okay, not such a good week. But like, you can't really quantify, and it's very difficult to know like what you should be comparing to.
Definitely, it's something to really stay on top of. Because like you say, it's so much work gone into this, like people can't fathom, and it's like trying to get anybody to watch, you say to a mate, "Oh, have you seen that new Breaking Bad?" Like fucking 11 years ago, and there'll be 2 years until they watch it, and then they'll message you and go, "Fuck me, I wish I'd jumped on it sooner."
Yep.
Do you know what you're up
100%.
against? And then you look at the sheer weight of how many people are doing this, and like you said, we went and chased up the Apple charts, and the Apple charts is all over the place, and it reads totally different in different places, and it looks like at one point we went down to like something like 28, and then a couple of hours later we were at 84. So it's damn near impossible. That's how fierce the charts are for it.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing it, but like I've said before, everyone was making music in the 90s. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't, and people said don't bother. I remember my mate saying to me, "You won't get anywhere," and then we had a record deal a year later. It's those moments of sticking with it. Because everything's as rough as fuck. Maybe Moon Carter isn't the product, and it will be a different thing we do, but we'll have gained the trust. It's
Well,
just about, I think one of the thing I'm getting off Michael Fenton from Time Capsule, the woman from Scummy Mummies, she messaged back, and all of them have
Enemy
done it
soldier
themselves,
incoming.
and haven't got any help off any agents, because the agents aren't really over the podcast at the minute, because they couldn't be. Do you know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
not selling. An agent goes to a TV show and say, "Do you want my guy?" and they say yes or no. But with the podcast, it's the golden nugget, isn't it? Because you're going to 1 billion people. Do you want it?
Yep. Yeah. I remember having loads of people when I was effectively going to work for myself. I remember the popular thing was like, oh, it's just gonna, it's not gonna make money, like when you want to guarantee this and that and all that sort of thing. And basically, I haven't worked for another person for most of my adult life. I haven't had a boss, and we've pretty much, if you look on I always say to Kelly, if you ever think that we're not somehow getting enough or not enjoying our life or anything like that, just go back and look at our Google Photos. I said to her, just look for your Google Photos if you're having a bad day, and then you can see, right, then we're out in the Seychelles, then we're in Rome doing a cooking thing, then we're up in some Michelin star restaurants and all that sort of stuff. And basically all that has purely come out of me just sitting at my computer and working some stuff out, really.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Gas is moving in. New safe zone located.
the problem is if you have any kind of inclination to self-doubt whatsoever, or that self-defeating thing, like your energy level drops, so your mindset drops. Like one person feeling it is enough, isn't it?
Yeah, well, like I said to my mate, like I said to Colin, like, if we get this Guardian thing, it's enough to say, this is a great product, it'll power us on to finish the series, and just keep going, because there was a huge wane 3 months before we launched, because we'd been at it so long, scrapped episode 2, started again, and, there's just no one there to say, oh, I love your product.
All that will only get easier as well. That's kind of another factor. It will take the negatives of the process, even though it's already a net positive, that will only kind of magnify.
It's like a rolling ball, isn't it? And if it's shit, like a rolling snowball, if it's shit, it's shit, and it stays there, and there's nothing you can do. But
worst case scenario,
good,
you make the biggest, shittest snowball anyone's ever seen.
Yeah, and people are like, "What the fuck was that about?" And you go, "Don't know." And you apologise to everybody profusely. But yeah, it's hard. It's really hard because you're constantly just going, will this work?
Yeah.
But I think the reaction was so, like, off all of my people that I gave it to, I'm not really surrounded by yes men.
Yeah.
Like my girlfriend would have said it was shit. The reaction from when I sent out episode 1 and I hadn't even done 2 was phenomenal. I think we're, to be a little bit big-headed, we all knew that we were onto something from the moment 1 went out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I can never ask my mum if she thinks something's good, because she is the ultimate yes man. Well, everyone's mum is, I suppose, aren't they? But if I ever run anything past her, I'm a super genius as far as she's concerned. To this day, she's absolutely convinced that I'm gifted, whereas I kind of juxtapose that with a concern that actually I'm really good with words and I can't unscramble my brain for the life of me. And that's about it, and the words trick everyone. That's the narrative I get running in my head. If you ever have a moment of self-doubt and stuff, because if your mates say to you, like, oh, you'll be able to do this, you're really good at all these things, like they just talk you, if someone talks you up in a pub or whatever, afterwards I literally just think about it, and then I think like, what if I just have a very good vocabulary and I'm an excellent salesman to even myself, and actually I don't have a fucking clue.
Yeah, that's better to stay with stupidity.
Let's roll.
Just believe it. That's, you know, it's like Trump. Like if Trump ever sat down and
Battle Royale.
ebbed away from it, and he would be, you know, he'd fall apart.
Gas
But
is
his
approaching on your
ridiculous
position. Move to the
self-belief
safe zone.
and money
Yeah.
leads everybody to think
Marking
that
contract.
he's a genius.
Complete unchecked self-belief.
Yeah, it's amazingly powerful.
Well, there's like a phrase around that, isn't there? Like, if you say anything with enough conviction, people will follow.
Yeah, I
Objective
think that's
simple.
true.
Eliminate all bounty targets.
Playing Warzone at the moment. You know when you play mouse and key, basically? So everything's
Yeah.
cross-play now, so you mouse and key against controller, so you really have to be astonishingly good on a mouse and key. Well, you know how much harder it is than like an aim-assisted controller. Like aim-assist controllers just pull towards now. They just kind of, you feel them pull, and then if you lose sight of the guy, it still hits them. Like the level of dexterity needed, and I'm going to be 40 in a month. And I'm just thinking, like, why am I still trying to compete so hard? Because it does bother me every time I get killed. I'm like competitive beyond belief with, like, you know, what effectively a bunch of idiots. When you start off it, they say, everyone drop at castle if you're not gay, is what the chat says. If you're not gay, go to the castle, so everyone can have a big fight at the castle at the beginning and kill each other. And do you know the worst bit about it is I went to the castle like, to just get involved.
Yeah.
By an enemy squad, evade and survive. Time to fight your way out of here.
The chat in these type of games is an absolute toilet.
Yeah, it makes you sad, really, about life. Because people weren't, you know, very rarely, you know, good game.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, you fucking gay lord. If you kill him, you're a cunt. If they kill you, you're a cunt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, it has proximity chat, so you can communicate with someone when you're close to them. So you can tell them that you are about to kill them, that kind of thing. You can do an execution, which they're getting more and more elaborate. Over Christmas, there was, so you know how they used to be, like, you walk up behind them, you hold the melee button down, and you get an animation, like you know, stab them from behind or something like that.
Yeah.
So in the Christmas ones, you could unlock new ones. So people are all running around with a little elf that when they do the execution, it's a little elf comes out of their backpack and they kick the player in the balls and then they execute them and stuff like that. So people are doing like troll executions on each other and using the voice chat whilst it's going on, and like they're like profiting directly off the toxicity.
Yeah.
But I think the most remarkable thing about it is I'm about to turn 40 and I'm in no way above it. Like if someone does it to me, I'm going to parachute back down on them if I get out of the gulag.
It's the same as single player, though, isn't it? You're somebody. It's like when you're getting fucking murdered and you think, I'm gonna fucking get loaded up and come back and fucking murder you.
Yeah. had to spend the last couple of days processing a load of returns for Kelly's Christmas presents. It's been an absolute nightmare. Like, you just wish that you just said, what exactly do you want by this point?
Yeah, got in trouble. I got misses a load of things, and then one got sent, and it was a bit shoddy and second hand.
Oh no.
I didn't think it was second hand. I thought that
Gear up fast. We're
it
about to get
was.
evil.
I thought it was just the box had been damaged, and I was just going to read. It was just one more present, and she was fucking raging.
Was it an accidental second-hand purchase?
Yeah, no, she was like, "What the fuck's this?" And I'm like, "I didn't mean. I'll show you the Amazon thing." But it was too late, and it kind of marred Christmas a bit.
Amazon had this weird new trend that I didn't realise was happening now, where they were sending gifts, but they were effectively like unboxed. So they just put the label. So if you think like we got like a couple of kids, like, you know, dolls from things like Frozen and stuff that Miles can mess around with, and they came and they just had the label stuck directly on them. So to peel it off, you had to tear the product boxes and stuff. I've never seen that happen before, but we had like 3 things arrive like that, where just someone in the warehouse just slaps a label on.
Relay those coordinates. Gang's all here. Word came down. We are green to go. So gear up, grab your chutes. We're going to the war zone. Rules of engagement are simple. Weapons free on all threats.
Let's roll.
Learned a bit about
Down
new
where I
fashion
am.
trends though over Christmas, because Kelly likes to be. She goes out with a bunch of girls who are all like, you know,
Be
dress
advised,
in kind of
gas
what's
is
cool,
closing
I
in.
suppose.
Proceed to the safe zone.
And I didn't have a clue. I didn't realise that everyone wanted New Balance. You know, the old dad trainers, things that your dad would wear.
Yeah,
Like
Contract.
like Kelly was like, "Oh, can I have these?" I was like, "You sure?" And then I
Boy.
had known this was coming, so I got used to the idea. My mate had got a pair, and she said, "Oh, why don't you get some? I'll get you some nice ones." And they really did look like something like a man, you know, just like a father of 3 would wear on a camping trip or something.
Bounty targets
So
marked. Kill 'em all.
she's changed those for some other ones, but I just about got used to them. But like I just couldn't quite. I don't know. Some things I feel like you just need someone to just sort of say this. We were wearing this not that long ago. You know, our dads were wearing this, and it was shit.
The problem is you that you know, being a
Gas is moving.
90s lad, it's sort of from then on, your major eras kind of stick with you a little bit, and then like when you're in the 90s, at the end of the 90s, everybody wore baggy.
Yeah.
Nobody wore, only goths and thing wear skin tight. And then all of a sudden we went into the 2000s. Everyone had backward chicken bum hairdos
Yeah.
and skin tight stuff, and you were like, I can't go there. I can't do it. You know?
You get stranded, don't you? You get stranded between what's normal for everyone else. You think, if I don't do this, I'm like now the old one.
Yeah, I'm afraid after 4 you just need to find your own style and stick with it.
Yeah.
Stop chasing, you know. But it's difficult.
I was literally just thinking, like, I'm at a point where I was thinking, okay, now what do I do now then to not look like a cunt to the vast majority? I was just looking at the various different things, and I was just thinking, okay,
Bounty
this
targets
looks really shit to
identified.
me, but
Weapons free.
X amount of people, like, it's become normal to see it in the street. And then I just think, okay, like, do you wear, like, not skinny jeans, but like kind of skinny, like slim fit jeans, like those type?
Nope.
So I had literally just got used to wearing, like, not the very skinny, but the slim, you know, properly slim fit jeans, and I started to think, okay,
Yeah.
well, they look kind of like tailored-ish now and everything like that. And then all of a sudden, like, it's combats now. People apparently wear combats again.
Yeah,
like
it's
1995.
I couldn't handle 3/4 lengths.
Oh, they were not good, were they?
And no socks, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck's going on there? And then one day I thought, you know, I'm not going to wear any socks. Then I got addicted to it, and then I didn't mind the odd thing with boots, but not 3/4 length, but you know,
Yeah.
like things that knock off at the ankle. And then they've gone, and then you're like, ah, fuck it. So you, after a while, you just start dressing like a Japanese man.
Yeah.
That's the look. Japanese idiot.
This Christmas was genuinely the first example where I've gotten like properly lost. Like I was just thinking, I don't know what to do.
You end up with round glasses and liking Japanese whiskey. This is you now. And you'll be like, well, actually, you know, full of that sort of stuff. Actually, it's customary to go backwards. James May.
Yeah.
Regroup and get back up there, yep.
I find that an insurance policy against those things is I choose styles now that were worn in the 1940s and every decade since quite a lot, like my glasses style. So I bought like, I've got those Moscot glasses, you know, the ones that like Johnny Depp wears and James Dean wore and all that. I bought those because I was thinking, right, I want to keep my glasses for a while and I want them to kind of, so I'm just going to go classic now so that I can never be like fully out of fashion. I might just look like an intentional outlier now and then.
It's the best way to be. Yeah, it's a difficult. You know, like you can see why people check out because the world just stops being what you have dealt. You know what you've got, what you grew. Yeah, what you recognised really, and you can see where a lot of people just go, oh, I don't give a fuck anymore, and then they move to Italy, and they live in, or they have a place in the south of France, and you know, because it all gets to the point where you're like, we've done it before with stand-ups. You're like, they're not funny, but then this happened to the last generation that grew up with mother-in-law jokes that suddenly would look at, you know, the alternative guys and go, that's not funny. And I must admit, like looking back at Alexi Sales and looking back at all them guys, they weren't that funny. They were just new and whimsical, you know?
Yeah.
So it gets, the world gets a lot weirder. And, you know, you've got it with the trans thing that we talked about and the new generation and what's acceptable and, you know, because, it's, you know, like, my generation's getting very angry with the trans people and they're getting very angry. Really, very for those trans people around to be angry at.
No.
So what, you know what I mean? And do you really fucking women is decimated? You know what I mean? So
yeah.
It's all about big battles. It's just people who are out there. The world doesn't make any sense anymore. Well, you just got to pick your battles and just go, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I'm struggling with stand-up. I used to like putting a stand-up on, but I'm really struggling with it. There's not much that I like at the moment. I watched Dave Chappelle's new one, but it was more like anecdotal than gags. Like he was more talking about like the Chris Rock and Will Smith thing, and I think I'd had enough of that by that point. And but I think he's very good, but it wasn't one of his better ones. And I think we spoke about the Ricky Gervais one, didn't we? That one just felt a little bit, I don't know, it all felt like it were retreads. And everyone else is so scared not to keep everyone happy, so it's very safe.
Well, you do end up with like Nish Kumar and that. That are just shit.
Nish Kumar is like, just not funny in the slightest.
No.
I also don't ever find that he really tells jokes as such, or like does kind of. There's certainly no kind of land of anything. Like I I saw that he was like, he just turns up. He was a front row guy on Jules Holland on New Year, and it just, I never really feel like they have anything much to offer. You know, like they're there, and they're going, oh yeah, having a great night. Oh, I've worn a shit shirt, and that's about it. Like it's something like that. Like,
Oh yeah, they're wankers though, aren't they? You know, like fucking Hootenanny has always got Vic Reeves on it, and Vic Reeves has stopped being relevant years ago
Yeah.
or funny.
what do you think of Bob Mortimer?
Oh, Bob's classic, but they've found their niche with the fishing thing because people just crave for it.
Yeah. I always thought Bob Mortimer was a lot funnier than Vic Reeves
Yeah.
generally. Or what's he called now? He's calling himself his real name, and he's James Moir or something. Bob Mortimer on that, that Would I Lie to You show was very funny. When
Yeah.
he used to go down some absolute. It's a bit like what you do actually, where the story just expands and expands, and it's complete bollocks, but it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. He explores stuff. Yeah.
Where they were playing. I remember there was one that turned out to be true, where he used to play a game in his in the neighbours' gardens with his mates called Theft and Shrubbery. Basically, they used to have to walk slowly towards the window of a neighbour's house by getting over their back garden fence, and as they're walking towards, you have to go, "We do beg your pardon, but we are in your garden," and keep chanting it louder and louder and louder.
Yeah, it's just I mean, the world's getting more and more
Use this time for
complicated
some
as
target
well,
practice.
and
Real things coming soon.
it's going to be a lot harder
Enemies dropping into
to
the AO.
make a buck and stuff. It's not really impossible, but it's just like get yourself a little bit of paradise, really. Get yourself a little holiday home somewhere that gets your head out of the game a bit, you know. The problem is that
Enemy soldier in.
the whole world is waiting for the next comedy special, enjoying the next blockbuster. It's all a bit rinsed, isn't it?
It's got
And
centralised, doesn't it?
Yeah, and your
All
simple
stations,
self
green light. We are deploying
that
to the
grew
war
up in that
zone.
world no longer is stimulated by us at all. So it's about getting out of the game, really, and getting your own brand that doesn't really have to work as hard.
Yeah. Do you find it difficult when you turn on the TV now to find something you want to watch? Do you just see the pictures of everything and you write it all off? You flick right it off, right it off.
Resurgence.
Yeah.
You stay
Like I feel like
alive
I've
till
seen
time
every
expires.
variant of everything,
Secured
and
redeployment.
I know that's not really the case. Something great always comes along, but
Marking contract.
Yeah, definitely, but it's far and few between. It's not as much as it used to be. And I think that's a lot more about you just getting militant.
Bounty targets marked.
sophisticated,
Kill 'em all.
Get older, going, this is bollocks. What do I care? Where when you're younger, you're a little bit more of you get involved in it all, you know, and you go, yeah.
Marked remaining operators from
How
that
dare
squad.
Will Smith
Hunt them down.
slap Chris Rock, and then suddenly you pull back from it and go,
why do I
What
give a
about-
fuck?
yeah, why do I give a fuck? They're a bunch of spoiled little cunts. Who cares? They're all idiots.
Resurging. Go get your revenge.
But yeah, I'm moving into the missus house and I'll go on the mortgage, and that feels like such a fucking amazing thing to go from endless. This is the last place.
Yeah,
Good kill. Mark
yeah,
the
that's
rest of
a
that
big
squad on your
a big
attack
change,
map.
isn't it? Really.
Get hunting.
being renting all the time is hell.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get
What-
me wrong, mortgage fucking increases the hell on earth, but I'd rather pay that than put up with some fucking wanker coming around every month checking what you're doing and stuff. And hopefully we'll be able to get that mortgage down to Wales. And you know, it looks like there's a bit of light at the end of the tunnel. If I can
Marking the
carry on
rest of that
earning
squad
what
on
I'm
your attack
earning,
map.
should be able to get
Go
it
get hunting.
right down. And then, yeah, I'm gonna try and get a place in Italy or France or something. Just not watch the TV and sit out underneath,
That sounds like a good plan.
underneath my vines and drink wine and give less of a fuck about the game because it's unwinnable.
Yeah.
It's just about carving out a
You're
nice
losing
pace
ground.
of life
Move
for
it.
yourself.
Target down. Marking the rest of them. You're getting another chance.
It's funny, isn't it, really, if you think about how different that your life looks to what it did, like, just a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Ali's just bought a flat. Got a lovely little 1960s flat.
Is the value
He
enough?
should be moving in
Keep your head
after
up.
Christmas.
Oh, nice.
His nan lent him the money, and we both met up about a year and a half ago to swap a monitor over so he
Yeah.
could help more when I was doing Twitch, and we both sat there in a restaurant and said, fuck knows what we're going to do, because his mum wanted to downsize. She wanted him out because he was living in there. And I was like, yeah, I know, well, I'm fucking I'm fucking sleeping in someone's dining room, so the world has completely changed.
Also kind of shows you that, like, where you're at the time, age, any circumstances and everything like that, it doesn't really matter that much. Things are more malleable than you think. You just build a kind of narrative,
don't
don't
do
you?
your head in, because like I always said, like, you're doing your head in about the future because of the circumstances that you're in now, when it all has the possibility to completely change.
Yeah.
But fucking Trump gets in, and then fucking Farage gets in, and you're like, whoa, this sucks.
I try not to seek out news as much anymore because it all just sort of tells you that the world is in this unrecoverable state, almost everything you read. And I'm too widely aware not to take it in. Do you know what I mean? Like, now some people live in their world and other people live in the world too much, kind of thing. Like, I do that a little bit. I'm always fully aware of everything that's going on everywhere and what I was really not enjoying the whole thing about this year starts with the mass execution of all the XL Bulldogs. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was thinking, surely there's got to be some kind of way of approaching it that just doesn't involve a pet holocaust. You know, it's just kind of depressing that who gets them, how there's no kind of licensing things. Because if you think about it, we got our dog very, very easily. you know, totally uncontested, just went in, got a bulldog, brought it home, never owned a dog kind of thing. And if you think like it's effectively like you need a license for a car because it can kill, and that people can just go and buy an XL bulldog like they've just bought like a new Razor or something like that. That's not a good example because that can kill as well, but you know what I mean. Like I was finding it really depressing because my cousin was trying to home a bulldog before December the 31st, and it came to my aunt's at Christmas. It was like a really nice dog, and its, you know, its fate was kind of sealed. But actually, she did manage in the end, I think. But you just read grim news everywhere, don't you? And like for some reason, like some people just take it on board, and I'm one of those people that just takes things on board no matter what, even if it's totally irrelevant to me, doesn't affect me whatsoever.
Yeah, even if Trump gets in, who gives a fuck? They're all fucking idiots.
I think the people who live easiest and most comfortable lives tend to be either not very intelligent, not very self-aware, or inherently slightly low empathy. I think those people live easier.
Yeah, because it's all like
Be advised, fog is lifting. Visibility is increasing.
It's all been on the precipice all the time.
We just didn't have it like mainlined into our brains, did we? That's the main difference. 24/7. We got the news, but it wasn't quite the degree that we are all exposed to now.
Enemy soldier incoming. Enemy destroyed. Use your TAC map to hunt down the rest of them. Gas moving in. Kill confirmed, and we located the rest of them. Kill confirmed. We located the rest of them. Enemies are dropping into the area. Watch the skies. Get ready. You're redeploying. Enemy destroyed. Use your TAC map to hunt down the rest of them. Friendly loadout drops on the way.
Whenever I play keyboard and mouse, it's so variable. Like you're great, then you're shit. It's all rhythm based, isn't it? Like I'm never consistent.
We are returning you to the front.
Yeah, there's a sort
Earn
of
this.
pop up to it.
Good kill. Marking the rest of that squad on your attack map. Go get hunting.
Tracking targets on fast FPSs. I think as you get older, it just gets harder, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Still not sure how I'm suddenly 40. That's a weird feeling.
It happens.
Haven't matured a day. Well, not for a while.
Enemies are dropping into the area. Watch the skies. Enemy soldier incoming. Gas is inbound.
Viva!
Still enjoying that game.
Yeah,
Time for
ish.
vengeance.
I've
You're redeploying.
overloaded on it. I did exactly what I wanted to do. Kick the shit out of it at Christmas. I'm playing as the dragon geezer now
Oh yeah.
The enemy took that one, but we'll get them back.
to get the. I never went to Baldur's Gate.
Oh,
I got carried
that's
away, followed the storyline, and fucking blew
that's
up
still
the
to
big
come.
brain.
Oh, I see, you finished it.
Yeah. Credits rolled, and I went, "Ah, fuck."
Oh no. I was thinking for a second there, like, oh, you've just like not got there yet, but you've bypassed the thing.
No, 75 hours. I've fucking nailed it.
So basically, you skipped Act 3.
Yep. So now I thought I'd go back and do it, but to be honest, I think I'm burnt out on it.
Massive game, innit?
Yeah, there's been some funny bits in it where you're like, "Oh, I can't do this," and then I backed the trolls, the goblins this time round, and went back and fucked that place over. And the main druid was fucking kicking my ass every time. Anyway, I went back and did it, and she fucking blew herself up. I didn't do anything. She just walked up to a barrel and cast a spell trying to hit me and blew her all of herself up and everybody.
So are you the Dark Urge?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's quite fun, isn't it?
it's total fun, yeah. It's nice not being the good guy. But I wanted a different build. I wanted a to
We're headed
use
to the
a
war
few
zone.
people
Get geared
warlocks
up and stand by.
and use a bard this time round, and it's a much harder build I've got now because
Yeah.
I haven't got any
Enemies dropping
tanks.
into the
But
AO.
I used a barbarian paladin last time, and I just wanted to rely on the magic a bit more. And it's a bit harder, but you just got to pan your stuff out, get up high.
Prep time's over. Now you deploy to the war zone.
And I've murdered everybody.
Have you actually got a full squad?
Yeah, but I murdered all of the. I didn't want to
Resurgence.
use any of the.
Survive the
fucking
timer
main
to secure
characters this
redeployment.
Yeah.
time round.
Earn
Shad,
points to
Doe,
speed up the
woman,
countdown.
I murdered her because I wanted the thing. I'm just about to. The vampire's going to try and bite me. I'm just shove a stake through.
Did you still get a relatively satisfying ending despite in the last one, you know, like obviously you cut out a fair chunk of the game. Did it still like narratively
Yeah. You
come together a bit?
You get a bit bored of. You get a bit bored of the play of it. You know, you've got the build.
Yeah.
Say your druid, put spikes down on doors and pull people through and get. And after a while, your playing style just bores you really.
Yeah.
The only way that I'd want to play it again is if they bring out an expansion.
Yeah.
Be advised, there's an enemy squad gunning for you.
Because I know the land. I know even if I pick out a different outcome, it's going to be boring.
Yeah. Yeah, you end up grinding to a little bit of a halt anyway, don't you, really, at that point?
Yeah, you end up going to bed dreaming in spell sequences. And then you're like, oh god, I need to give this a rest.
Dropping into the AO.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how you even got to Baldur's Gate.
Mark remaining
That's my
operators from
problem.
that squad.
You got to get,
Hunt them down.
you got to go
You're back on
underneath
station.
and then
Go
get
get
to
after it.
the. You got to go to Moonrise thingy. Do it head west, don't you?
Yes, there's like a path, you know where all the tents are, I think it was there. There was like a path with a bunch of war tents the other side of, you know, that bit with the mad doctor guy. I think it's not far from there.
Right. I just got bored of the darkness.
Yeah.
I love the gold. That big gold witch. And stuff like that. She had about 400 health or something crazy.
Big gold witch.
Yeah.
Oh, the
she's
giant
in-
Gith Yankee, whatever her name is.
Gas is moving.
But I got, you know. I was just
Stand by
like,
for redeployment.
at the start, it's such a lovely light. And it's so lovely to play. And then after a while, when you've got to be mindful, it's like playing Fallout and
You start getting oppressed.
yeah, you start getting oppressed by the constant bloody dark radiation of Fallout. It's like I've got enough to deal with. I really don't want to be bothering with bloody.
I don't play Alan Wake a lot for that reason, because it's almost a bit too gloomy.
Yeah,
Like, it's amazing and atmospheric, and there's no, like, you know, that you can't criticise the visuals and everything like that, but it's just maybe a little bit too, you know, feels heavy to play.
You got a loadout drop inbound.
Yeah, what I want to do is get underground now.
Resurging. Go get your revenge.
Go see the mushroom people and start using those flowers.
Yeah.
But I'll be bored before I can get there.
Enemies are dropping into the area. Watch the skies. Target down. Marking the rest of them. Time for vengeance. You're redeploying.
Viva!
Drop points marked. Double XP deployed.
Bomb drones up!
Bomb drone is hot.
Gaming has definitely devolved a fair bit since, even when we used to play like Battlefield and stuff like that. It's devolved since then, I'd say. Like the strength of aim assists and everything and stuff means that you can't ever escape anyone's bullets. Like if they've seen you first, it's locking on and stuff like this. They're taking all kind of the, you know, when you used to have to get good, like yeah, you used to have to put some effort in and be decent. Like everyone's been neutralised to the same sort of level. Like I either instantly kill them or they instantly kill me with no sort of right to reply. You can't ever kind of evade and set yourself and everything. Everything's getting sort of dumbed down. It might just be that I'm getting old, but it just feels, everything feels a bit dumber. Like a fruit machine.
Yeah.
Got gas moving in. Enemy soldier incoming. You're getting another chance. Make it count.
I think this round of patents where if you spend more money on microtransactions you get an easier game is shameful.
Yeah, well, they won't change it, will they? Because that's the problem. It's the business getting in the way of. It's like, you know, the record business.
You're back on
It's a
station.
contradiction.
Go get after it.
In terms, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just about making money. That's why the independents will always make a better game, but it just
Enemies
needs to
are
take
dropping into the
forever.
area. Watch
Like
the
if
skies.
Grand Theft Auto, the next one's shit,
Be advised,
then
enemies deployed a buy
you will
station.
see a huge shake-up in there.
Fire sale active. Buy station prices have been reduced. Get ready.
That's absolutely shocking though, isn't it, that if you pay more money, you get put in against new players who have never played the game and they have a terrible time because they're against you, and that changes. They'll then get slaughtered, but if they get fed up and they leave, they quit early, that will get detected, and then their next game will be like people who more or less don't know how to use a controller. It's like the beginning and the end, that sort of stuff.
Fire sale's over. Adjusting prices. Gas is closing in. Enemies dropping into the AO.
Viva!
25 remain. Solid work so far. Resurgence has closed. No more second chances. Enemy soldier incoming. Five remained.
Damn bludgeon power.
Still want a new game. Like, you know, when you're playing something that ideally you wouldn't be playing. Like, I used to love sitting down and getting some game time, and there was so many
me
things.
too. I had a fucking amazing Christmas, but Baldur's Gate has been the last 3 weeks, and I'm done. I mean, I'll go back, but I need about 3 months off.
Yep. They keep adding and changing things in that game as well. So when you do go back, it's always better. They've always added something meaningful.
Hogwarts, I made that halfway through that. I loved it. It's so beautiful, but the game mechanics, you're just doing the same shit over and over again.
Yeah.
I couldn't be bothered with Atomic Heart because it was 50 quid and people are only saying that it was great. And I knew that it would be done real quick.
I had that for free and didn't finish it. Part of, you know, the Xbox PC Game Pass thing.
Yeah. Fucking hated Dave the Diver.
No, not good. I saw some people rated it, but don't know much.
I'm fucking making sushi for people in my spare time. Fuck off.
Hell Let Loose was quite a good game if you had a few people on it. You know, the World War II squads.
Yeah, I took it again and got on it, but you're just getting picked off by people that have been playing it. That is what you're saying, like people that have been playing and got very, very good at it, which is just deserves. But it's hard when you're starting out and you're like, oh god.
Well, it's like Warzone, and in theory is such a palatable game. You know, Call of Duty's a mainstream game, but my mates borderline can't play with me because I'm a high skill player on that game. But because everyone else I'm in with is a high skill player, all of us are having a miserable experience. It's like you just get moved up to the next tier and the next tier. There's like a level of protection for new players, but that lasts like no time at all really. And then once you start playing with your mates, you're in big trouble, you know, like there. So I think my mates ended up playing this less, even though they love the concept. Mainly because they're like, someone said it was lions and lambs, this game, basically. You're either a lion or a lamb at all times, basically. So if you have a few good games, you'll become a lamb to someone else. And then if you seem like you're getting miserable, you're back to the lion in a group of players who, you know, can't sort their fingers and thumbs out, kind of thing.
Enemy soldier incoming. All stations, we are green to go. Stand by for deployment.
There's 2 I got my eye on because they've come a long way, and that's War Thunder. And I've been watching people play that because you can skip now from tanks to the planes and stuff. And a lot of people, you know, are on the ground playing and they're calling in a big bomber, and a big bomber comes in and fucking, you know, that's the sort of shit I like.
Stay alive till
And
time
the
expires,
second one is Squad, which has come a long way now.
Yeah.
It's a lot more like a game mod that Armour 3 used to have, and the more you earn points, the more you can spend them on tanks and stuff.
Yeah.
They've got a lot more in that now, so it's a bit more of a strategic battlefield of
enemies are dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
a rocket launcher to deal with stuff.
I quite liked the look of Ready or Not. I actually bought it played it and had no one to play with, and then just refunded it because I just thought, what am I going to do? Just sit here on my own playing SAS, you know, with people that are just coming in for 5 minutes, quitting over and over again. So I just that was good. Indie game with a lot, you know, high effort indie game.
Positive ID on
I
the
do
bounty
wonder
target.
if
Hunt them down.
3 is on the cards soon.
Well, they'll either do that or it'll be a Borders expansion, won't it? It'll be one of that. I don't know how big their team is. I'd imagine it's not huge.
Primary objective complete. All targets eliminated.
PC game this says with Borders 3. Fuck off cookies. I reckon it's coming up. Yeah, a long time. Game. That the developers say they need a break.
Yeah.
They'll just keep pumping that. I need to see future releases. That's what I need. I need something on my horizon because everything's been such
Good
a fucking,
kill.
everything in my wish
Marking the
list
rest of
has
that
been
squad
such
on
a
your
kick in
tac
the
map.
nuts.
Get hunting.
Do you think you'll always want to be playing games, or do you think you'll ever?
I think
kind
I'm
of...
getting less and less now as I've enjoyed
You're losing ground. Move
learning
it.
software.
Yeah.
Pretty much like you've done. That now I tend to be playing
Enemies
a game
dropping
and
into
I'm
the
just
AO.
like, oh fuck, I could be doing something a lot
Yeah.
more interesting. But that really does depend on the game. But yeah, my tolerance, like as a kid, I would just spend hours on the shittest games. In my 30s, I played games to my detriment, you know, because
Yeah.
what was going on. Where I'd say, yeah, there's this huge drop-off now where I deliberately took this week off
Kill
just to
confirmed.
re-energise.
We located the
then
rest of them.
back next week, and I've been bored.
Yeah.
And day before yesterday, I sat down and I had no commitments. I thought I'm going to spend all day gaming, and I tried it, and I went, it's boring. The problem is like your thing, Dad, is you wish you had all the time in the world to
We
game.
are returning you to the
Yeah.
front.
I
Earn
promise
this.
you'd be fucking piss bored within 2 weeks. And that's the problem is,
Loadout drop headed your
gaming
way.
should always be something you just can't wait to get to, and there's not enough time in the day for it. Because as soon as there is, you know what I mean, you just ruin it for yourself.
Yeah.
Good kill. Marking the rest of that squad on your tac map. Go get hunting.
'Cause
Yeah,
you
it
think,
can lose its
right,
value.
I'll wait for them to go to bed, then I can get some gaming, get some on. It's much nicer like that.
We're detecting vulnerability in the enemy's network. Locate their uplink stations and secure their intel before they go offline. Yep.
Oh, that's good. Collins just messaged me. Buzz Mag might be including Moon Carter. We've been asked for pictures.
I've heard of it.
Resurging. Go get your revenge.
Oh, Buzz Mag, they? Buzz Mag, art and culture and the best of what's going on in Wales.
Enemy soldier incoming.
The thing that is, you go, just piss little articles. but the thing is it builds up, doesn't it?
Yep.
And then you type in Carter. Got a history, haven't you?
Yeah, you almost have to not worry if they're not all,
You're
you know,
redeploying.
exactly the area you want to be operating in. It doesn't matter too much. Like, as long as it's getting around a little bit. Obviously, your long-term strategy will always be to get it where it's relevant, but like, just getting it about everywhere and getting it talked about is a very good start, I'd say.
I just typed it into Google and it's giving me a picture of George Lamb
George Lamb.
and
Kill
some
confirmed,
voice
and we located the
actor
rest of them.
from my... Oh,
Enemies dropping into the AO.
no one reads it, but it's fine. Oh, bless them. Although, if only their
An enemy
links
squad's
on their page
located
were
an uplink
helpful.
station. Don't let them secure that intel. Extract whatever intel you can. Time's running out.
Yeah, it's a bit of a trail, isn't it? That's what you want. You just, in a minute, if you type it in, go, let's
Yeah.
get it up on Chrome, see what Chrome does.
You're getting another chance. Make it count. 25
Totally
remaining.
different
They hit us hard that time.
in Google.
Let's regroup and get back up there, yep? The enemy resecured their network. It's over.
Much better on DuckDuckGo than it is on here. Yeah, first you've got our X, Twitter, fucking stupid. Then second is our YouTube page, which we have 7 followers. And then Buzzsprout, Spotify, Podcast Today, Apple. Don't know what that is. Oh, that's our actual website, is 5th. And then best podcasts with 5 reviews. Okay, that's nice. 2 reviews, sorry, at 5 stars. That's nice. And then Pod News. Oh, we're on IMDb.
Reviews are massively helpful with algorithms as well.
Yeah,
Reviews
God knows
and comments are often a big thing as to whether it serves you up to people who have been watching something else in the same category.
Yeah, well, like I say, you often get like people message me and they're like, "Do you want to come on my podcast?" And then the first thing I do is I'll Google how many followers they got. Is it worth it? How bizarre! We've got a IMDb page, but I am not mentioned or referenced. What the fucking hell? On Moon Carter, dark forces threaten the balance and faces an epic battle between good and evil as dark threatens the land.
Use this time for some target practice.
Ridiculous.
Real thing's coming soon.
Must protect magical forest in the stone circles whilst confronting shady newcomers. Who's written that? Shady newcomers. Makes you feel.
Is that
like
likely
it's
to be
like-
Colin?
Doubt it. I've just messaged him saying, "Did you put this up?" But he's like,
You know when someone's like carpet
like
bombing? You know when someone's doing like 10 different things and going like, alright, I'm going to put one there, one there, one there, and they're just like...
No, it can't be him. He's got a mark. Fine, right. For fuck's sake.
Enemies are dropping into the area.
Shady
Watch
news.
the skies.
Danny Dyer to turn up in the podcast. Oi, oi.
All stations, green
Is it-
light. We are deploying to the war zone.
The word malevolent would be
genre.
good in there.
The fucking genre is talk show. It's total joke. It's total joke. And the release date is the 7th of December, United States. does the official site code there. Yes, it fucking does. Oh, nice one.
Resurgence. Survive the countdown to earn redeployment.
There's
Secure
another
kills
bit
to
I
speed up the
did
timer.
see.
Marking contract.
Full up pod news. Ah, so they copied it from pod news. Oh.
That was far too close.
Nice,
Good
nice,
kill.
nice. Well
Marking the rest of
traffic.
that
Nice
squad on
little
your
trail.
attack map. Get hunting.
You know, like, even my page, if you type my name in, I'm fizzled out by. Get to the end of the page.
Enemy destroyed. Use your attack map to hunt down the rest of them. You're back on station. Go get after it. Messaging me in fucking Welsh, and it's getting on my nerves because I have to go and fucking Google it. Get ready. You're redeploying.
Have you picked up any Welsh?
How the fuck? A RAF, because it's on the signs. It's slow. And I will say it to her who pisses her off.
Got gas moving in.
I was exposed to a fair bit of Welsh growing up because my dad's mum's Welsh, so we always had to go to Bridgend, which is not a million miles away.
Bridgend?
Enemies dropping
Yeah.
into the AO.
Damn it all.
Stand by for redeployment.
People in Bridgend were so Welsh.
Any time you get away from the target, proper Welsh.
Friendly loadout drops on the way.
On the start of the first page it says Cliff Richard's song Short Shorts.
Oh yeah, I saw that the other day. I forgot to mention that. If you Google Mooncastle, the short shorts video is coming a little bit too high up for what I thought you might like.
And my message, have a lovely bank holiday.
That's a weird thing to get haunted by, isn't it, if that sticks around?
I don't mind. Anything where I'm being a real prat. I'm quite proud of.
Marked remaining operators from that squad. Hunt them down. Enemies are dropping into the area. Watch the skies. You're back on station. Go get after it.
Is Vanessa Repressor still around? Is that
No.
coming up anywhere?
No, you can't fuck me up my ass. It's been squashed.
Attached to your new
Something.
family podcast.
Yeah, there's those things should have been. In fact, tomorrow, I'm gonna grab my laptop and go over to him.
You're getting another chance. Make it count. Failure ain't fatal. It's just an opportunity.
There you go. By the end of page 2, it disappears into Pokemon. I'm happy with that.
My headset just died. I heard up to Pokemon.
Oh, you get to end of page 2, and the searches disappear into
That's all right.
Pokemon.
2 pages
I'm
worth
quite
of
happy with
references is
that.
a good start, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gear up fast. We're about to get evil. Prep time's over. Now you deploy to the war zone.
Prep for dust off. We're up in 3 mics. Let's move. There you are. We got the green light. You're going to the war zone. Grab your gear and shoot. You're up in 3. Enemy activity will be high. Expect contact early and often.
I do miss some stuff about the Twitch channel though. The little army of supporters that you put together was quite fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah,
Battle
yeah.
Royale.
It was a bit of a death that it took a, you know, as I said when I
Gas is approaching on your position. Move to the safe
when
zone.
I turned all the lights off in the studio for the last time. I was like, it was a bit of an emotional thing.
Yeah.
Positive ID on the bounty targets. Hunt them down.
Well, really, you did get traction, didn't you? You just couldn't get it over a certain line, and
Yeah, it's you look, you know this sort of thing. You get to a thing, anything business or whatever, where you have to go. You know, this is good, but it's not good enough. It's like
and the difference between that and Mooncarter is that really was like it requires you to be switched on at all times. Basically, this is the flaw with being like a streamer of any kind. Is that like I see it with Dr. Disrespect because I still watch him sometimes, and he's not the same as he was, you know, 2 years ago, even a year ago. You can see like there's a level of fatigue, and you can see like he's like the giant of game streaming, really, isn't he? Or one of two or three, and you can sort of see the numbers dropping off. Certain games aren't holding the numbers. Like he used to make absolutely obscene donations, and it's dripping down. But all of the people in the same space, it's all fatiguing a little bit, I'd say. And but if you think you still have to, you know, he's set out that he's a character, hasn't he? And he has to be that character and put that energy into it all the time and be there for hours on end, 3 times a week minimum. And if not, it won't sustain. So he's tried to move into other things. Basically, he's trying to develop his own game now, which actually
yeah, I
looks
think you'll see him move into other things. I mean, look, he's made enough money to stop now, isn't he?
I think he can stop, yeah. But the problem is you end up with a lifestyle that you can't really stop for. You can stop if you then prepare to scale back.
My friend Nicole, and she was Russell Brand's makeup artist, and I said a long time ago, you know, fucking, haven't they got enough money? And she said, you got no idea how much people are spending in LA, you know. And she said she worked alongside when she was doing the VH Awards, no, the MTV Awards that he used to host for about 3 years running at his height. And she said something like Beyonce's makeup artist was on like £1,000 an hour or something crazy. Like
Yeah,
she said,
Jesus.
they were just
Check your gear
hemorrhaging
and
money,
weapons. We'll be
and
deploying
then
shortly.
they're all, you know, like they're all got their country clubs, their clubs and sort, and then they all cost
Enemy
90
soldier
grand.
incoming.
Not even that, probably
Yeah.
more. And so people just get addicted to earning that sort of money.
You also kind of get stuck in it, don't you?
Yeah, sitcom guy I saw. He was in a sitcom with I forget all their names now, but he was the first bloke to have a hair transplant. But he was in a show with, do you remember years ago, the Teenage Witch thing?
Sabrina.
Yeah, was it Melissa
Enemies
McCarthy?
dropping
Melissa
into
Joan
the
Hart.
AO.
Yeah, Joan Hart. Well, she was in this sitcom with him for 4 years. She bought a lovely little
Shadow
house
01.
in Venice Beach
Deployment to the war zone has been
that's
authorized.
way big enough for people like you and me.
Yeah.
And she's got a lovely life, and he was just fucking hemorrhaging cash. And within 3 months of him,
We got the green light. You're going to the
the
war
show
zone.
finishing, he would
Grab
have
your gear and
declared
shoot.
bankrupt.
You're up in 3.
Well, it's because you can't just stop paying, can you? You have to sell that property, and you have to, like, you know, all of the things that you've got that are set outgoings and contractual outgoings.
You're trying to live like a billionaire. You're trying to live like a fucking who has more money than you will
Battle Royale.
ever imagine. You know, real money, real oil, you know,
Gas is
digital
closing on your
money.
position. Suggest you hightail it out of
Yeah.
there.
Celebrity like a cunt. And that's the problem, and then it's like they're trying to live in a fast lane.
Yep.
Let's have ourselves a fight.
I've got no patience for them. I think they're idiotic. You know, like you should make your money. And get
You're
Also find that I don't need much anymore. So if I made big money, it would probably end up as like real wealth because I would invest mainly and probably live fairly modestly just because I'm too tired to manage a lot of stuff. That's how I would feel. I would like a nice garden, but I wouldn't want a too big garden because it would require maintenance. You know, at a certain point, I wouldn't want a load of people in my house. You know, like if you end up with chefs and all that sort of stuff, I'd probably more likely order healthy food. You know, with those deliveries and stuff like that, where you get like a load of healthy pre-made stuff delivered. I would never scale up that much, I don't think. I'm more interested in time.
It's a good way to be.
I'd like to live comfortably with as much time to indulge, like, you know, projects and ideas and things like that. Like, I'm just too tired to accumulate too many hands-on things that I have to worry about or manage.
Yeah, well, it's the same for acting. Like, I don't really care if acting fucks off. The only thing about acting is it sort of like looks after more voiceover work, but like not really. And the great way about voiceovers is I earned 40 grand last year for doing 5 hours work. And I earned 40 grand for doing my last series of The Mimic, and it took us damn near a year to do it. So I like look at it now and go, I don't actually think I'd want a big series because acting doesn't pay enough unless you're right at the top.
Yeah. When you did your initial video, you know, the one that went viral, were you hoping to get something out of it, or were you literally just like, I'm messing around with YouTube?
No, it was desperation. I'd just given something to my agent, and she said it was shit. It didn't make any sense, and I just thought, right, I'm going to remain optimistic and just do something that I know
We're
I
headed
can
to
do.
the
And
war
I did that.
zone. Get geared
She
up
sent
and
a
stand
message
by.
back instantly and said, finally, something I can use.
Yeah.
Dumped her as soon as I got gravity on it. But that went out. Let's say it went out in
Enemies are dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
May. It didn't get going until August.
Yeah.
There was a good 3 months. And it was because of Darren Brown and Graham Linehan. Now if
All
it's Graham,
stations, we are green to
it's
go.
really
Stand by for
something
deployment.
so get cancelled instantly. But
Let's get that bird spinning. Finish up.
that
We're
was a
airborne
different
at
world.
3.
You know, that's 2009.
There you
And that's
are.
when people were desperate.
We got the
for,
green light. You're going to the
you
war
know,
zone.
you could have big
Grab your
people
gear
now.
and shoot. You're up in 3.
someone far
Enemy
bigger
activity
than
will
them,
be high.
the guy
Expect
from
contact
Tim and Eric,
early and often.
retweeted my Alan Partridge, and
I'll see you on the
I
other
got
side.
bigger traction on that, but still I got nothing out of it.
Battle Royale.
And that's the thing, because it's just changed. The map has changed. People look at
You got
celebrities
gas
and they
closing
go,
in
oh,
fast.
these
Unask
types of
yourself to
things,
the
they don't
safe
really
zone.
necessarily care. Where back in 2009, it was a thing, you know.
Yeah.
celebrity
Marking
endorsement.
contract.
Not really a thing, unless you got like Elon Musk or
Yeah.
a Kardashian doing it. Now you've got to find your own audience. We've gone back to what I think is the birth of MySpace, where years ago there was an artist, she did the song Flowers in My Hair. It was shit and it was very
Bounty targets
Joss
marked.
Stone
Kill 'em all.
crap.
Yeah.
But it was the birth of people being able to be born off the back of, you know, not needing a record company really.
Yeah. If only Elon Musk had stumbled across your Cliff Richard videos.
But you're not going to get those kind of endorsements. Like
You're
I
losing
say,
ground.
that Tim
Move it.
guy has an American audience which dwarfs. And, you know, okay, Alan Partridge is not really well known in America, but still you just don't get it where that kind of people in the industry desperate for new talent. And so it didn't get big traction. It went like, I think it stuck at like 90. Couldn't get above 100.
Yeah.
And really, before that, people were getting like 5.3 million on their impersonation, 100 impersonations by a brilliant guy, and they were getting it. But it just went to all the right people.
Yeah.
But even now, TV's so lost that, you know, they wouldn't know what to do.
What do you reckon you're most famous for now? Like, if you said, like, what do you reckon's the thing that most people are, you know, picking you up off the back
It's
of?
normally the most recent thing you've done. So I would say it's ebbing away now, but I would say
All bounty targets destroyed. Hell
I
of a
got
job.
stopped just as much in the street on Motherland than I did for the Mimic, because the Mimic reached Channel 4. So yeah, but Motherland's everything now. But that's only a year, but that means that content is tearing through itself so quickly.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this the other day, like look at some of the lesser known but still bigger roles in Game of Thrones, like the Hound and and they're not doing what you think they would do, but being attached to a big name like that.
Yeah.
So you really are only as famous as long as your product is out there.
Even a few
I mean,
of the central roles are losing steam, aren't they?
Yes, very much so, yeah. And I got messaged again from Britain's Got Talent, but I'm just not going to do it, because you're as famous as that show, and then you're done.
Hold on. What to what end? Like, what would you
and survive.
to go and actually like do something?
Yeah, they've been messaging me every year for about the last 10 years.
Could be quite funny. Like, it could just snowball out of nowhere. You never know.
The problem is I know
Got a
two
loadout drop
persons
inbound.
that did it, and none of them are working. The problem is you're as hot as possible for 1 year.
Loadout drop headed your way.
Yeah.
Gas is inbound, marking a new safe zone.
It's the thing, isn't it? It's like when you recently Stallone did a Netflix documentary about himself, and he was offered money to just take Rocky.
Yeah.
Like an unbelievable amount of money in 1979, 78. And he just said no. And all his mates said, "You're a fucking idiot." And I'm not comparing myself to Sylvester Stallone, but I'm comparing myself to the idea that I believe you are better off building your own legacy than doing talent shows.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. It seems to be true, doesn't it?
It wasn't. Like, if you look at, like, Victoria Wood, Lenny Henry, they all came up through Small Faces and Opportunity Knocks. But that was when TV, you know, you had 3 channels. And I think it's just a different world now.
Yeah.
And the problem is with voices, I've no doubt I could get myself up to being quite a good stand-up. And doing it in my own way.
Yeah.
It just still doesn't compare to how much money you'll make digitally if you can get off the ground that way. And I'm sure it might change. I might get bored and want to go do something, but I think the comedy world has just changed too much. And I've had my time in that genre.
Yeah.
As most of the cast of Toast. Like out of Toast, wouldn't you expect Harry Peacock to be the new voice of Baldur's Gate rather than Tim Downey?
Yeah, well, he was very good, wasn't he?
It's just so random. But like my mate, he was Into the Woods. He played the footman of what's his name? I always forget the Chris is called. He hung out with him and he stayed at his place in LA and there was a real buzz around it.
Chris Pine, did you say?
Yeah, Chris Pine and Emily Blunt loved him and he's fucking barely working now at all. So even the bits that you think are like your mecca, you know, your pinnacle to get to.
Yeah, it's weird.
What I think is really.
Gas is moving in. Safe zone located. The enemy took that one, but we'll get them back.
Yeah, I thought, like, that was such a big performance, wasn't it, the Ray Purchase one? Like, I don't know how much of, to what extent it's instructive and to what is he's creating the character or whatever, but it seems weird that the main thing he's doing since that seems to be cameos of it. Like, I saw he was in a couple of other things. He was in that thing with you, wasn't he? A couple of episodes after, what was it called? Tom Davis's thing. He was in that.
Yeah, he's in the Alan Carr sitcom.
I feel like your agent's letting you down sometimes. Like when I was talking about seeing that Wonka thing, I was thinking like that's like an effortless one for you, even with like the silver hair and a top hat in that world. Do you know what I mean? You would have just fit that extremely well. And it's people in there that just
stuck. Yeah, I'm stuck in a shit rut, and there's not a lot you can do about it really until you force it somehow to move by doing other things. I'm at 42 and they're huge, but they're too big for me. But because I haven't got anything under my belt lately, I can't move to another agent. Tried, but they just all send stuff back saying we're not looking for anybody. I did it about a year ago. Sent out about 40 emails, even to some really weird ones, and just know that it's just blanket. So that's why my plan was to try and do Moon Carter, to try and just do something.
Have something operating, yeah.
Yeah, to try and move it. But I'm stuck in I'm a tiny fish in a huge... You know, it's like being on Twitch and streaming a huge game. You're just lost in amongst some really big celebrities that just get tons of work. When I went to 42 swallowed up my old agency and they took me with me. And 42 have a huge deal with Netflix and they manage loads of stuff. So I thought, well, at least I'll get like, they went that way roles, you know.
Yeah.
Or can I get you a drink? But absolutely nothing. So I definitely need to move, but I can't move until I
Check your weapons, check your gear. We're holding for deployment.
Something big enough.
Gotta build yourself a bridge off, sort of thing.
Almost impossible, because then really, if you do that, you're probably better off staying with 42.
Yeah.
It's a real shit biscuit. Yeah, I'm stuck in a rut for sure. When you're earning like 120 grand a year, I'm not that bothered.
Yeah, you're not going to care, are you?
Not really, because I can't do anything about it. I would if I could. But you're always part of perfect storms, really. And at the minute, like the Aardman thing, if that had gone, that didn't go. Then I had an audition for Pokemon. Their new, that was from Aardman as well.
Yeah.
So people in Aardman are talking about me. It's fucking, but that didn't get going for some reason. Alright, so I'm nearly there all the time, but not, if you know what I mean.
Playtime's over. Stand by for deployment to the war zone.
But it's an impossible bridge to
Prep for dust off. We're up in 3
To
mics.
move
Let's
off.
move. There you are. We got the green light. You're going to the war zone. Grab your gear and shoot. You're up in
You know,
3.
Tom Davis.
Enemy
is
activity
perfect
will be
because
high.
He's a lunk.
Expect contact early
He's
and often.
almost that.
He's just
You know.
very noticeable, isn't he?
Well, it's like if you look back at roles,
Let's
of
roll.
comedy actors that have appeared in a lot of things, you can
Battle
almost
Royale.
benchmark him against actors in the 70s that were in a lot of things that were
Yeah.
very unfortunate.
Be
Not
advised,
that Tom's
gas
hideous,
is
but he
closing
just
in.
got that
Proceed to
build.
the safe zone.
But
Yeah.
he is a
Gas
perfect
drop is en
clown.
route.
He kind of looks like a creation, doesn't he?
Yes. So, you know, he's always gonna
Enemy soldier
do
incoming.
well from the start anyway, regardless of how talented he was. But yeah, I'm definitely stuck in a rut, and there's not much I can do about it, really, I'm afraid. You've got this new guard come through. It is calming down the race thing. Because years ago, no, well, like last year,
Moving here.
cast a few white.
Yeah.
So I am moved into a middle-aged type thing where I'm not. But you've also got the new guard, so you've got a lot of
Gas
factors
is moving.
against you. But that can work well, you know, in the way that give it another 10 years and, you know, you could easily be in the next Harry Potter as a 60-year-old silver-haired man with a pointy hat.
Yeah.
But the casting directors control everything. And at the minute, the casting directors love the people like Tom Davis, the people that they have. And I've just fallen off that.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do.
You would think that the silver hair would be a big help. Do you know what I mean? Like...
Enemy guys. Target destroyed.
little things like that. Like you want something distinct. Do you know what I mean? Like when I was talking about that Wonka thing. The reason I was thinking that is you could literally almost like picture what you might do.
It's all little Roman emperors.
Keep
You
your head up.
don't have them anymore. And I did think I would message John Knoll and see if I could, because they've got no such thing as fish podcasts there. But unfortunately, John's taken a back seat and his son Nick's taken over. And Nick never really liked me. I always thought I was a bit of an autistic lump.
Specific.
So you're up against that all the time. You're up against like falling out. It's not that the important thing is the arrogance of it, to think that people are sitting around and saying, well, we won't use Terry because it's not fashionable. They're just not thinking of you.
Yeah.
It's not personal, but it's personal at the same time.
Yeah.
And they've got so many other people that they want to champion that's why I thought I'd try the podcast thing and try and move into children's fiction, family fiction, to just try and get rid of that horrible, unjust world. Because you've got like I say, Harry Peacock. I wanted him in my sitcom that me and Arthur Matthews were doing from Father Ted, and they wouldn't let me have him. They made us have Robert Webb.
Yeah.
And you've got that all the time. Like, why can't I have Harry Peacock? Well, because people are saying, no, we don't want Harry Peacock.
It's weird, isn't it?
But he's brilliant. You know, so you've got that all the time. And not that he's working a lot, his girlfriend's working.
Use this time for some target practice.
It's Catherine, what's her name? The redhead, isn't it?
Yeah. They're both doing very well.
Enemies dropping into the AO.
He's getting on that radar, which is impossible.
Yeah.
It's not impossible. You do it by pushing it yourself and making yourself relevant. But then even like, I tell you what, how unlucky it is. I was one in Motherland. I was one of the exes. I was one of the fellas, and you know, of Lucy Punch's character, Amanda, and another geezer who was one of the boyfriends, one of the husbands, and then he went and got a role in Foundation, which was the big sci-fi.
Oh yeah, I know the one. Apple.
And you're like, well, why haven't I got any auditions on the back of a BAFTA-winning show?
Yeah.
And the reality is that the casting agents didn't want me.
Yeah. And then you've got Nish Kumar out there turning up everywhere.
Resurgence.
Yeah, but that's understandable because you know, he's not talented enough, so
yeah,
it won't fit out. But he's Starvo.
We watched that big fat quiz of the year the other day, and I was just saying to Kelly, like, I just don't find anything funny anymore. So, like, do you remember when they were allowed to sort of take a few risks with the comedy and stuff? It's just, and they're pushing people that they just don't have anything. That's probably the best way you can put it, really. They just seem to have nothing.
Well, that girl that's got MS, I can't understand what she says.
Oh, Rosie Jones. Yeah, we were talking about that the other day. Like, she may be funny, but I can't. I struggle a bit to follow it.
Yeah, or her quips take half an hour. But punters, you know, aren't really going to put up with that.
Yeah.
It's a fashion thing, isn't it? It's whoever's in, and
You're getting
I've
another
got to work
chance.
out
Make it
either
count.
I keep plugging away, still available. I'm not driving for Asda, and I've just got to wait for Aardman to come through. But I'd be more than happy just to become a voice actor.
Yeah.
It would be an honour.
Me and Kelly were talking about that, the Rosie Jones situation. Like, there's not a hint of malice in it. It's just like I'm struggling a little bit. Like sometimes I'm almost concentrating like I'm doing a test to get the joke, and it's difficult because I said to Kelly, like, don't you find it like it's a weird feeling, really, considering we're like parents to a disabled son and we want him, to have his opportunities and all that sort of stuff. But if someone said to me, I'm really sorry, but I'd rather your son wasn't my brain surgeon, I would understand.
It's just punters, isn't it? It's cruel, It's like it's the thing as a dad you'll have with whatever you're going to have to turn around and say to your child, yeah, I don't think that's for you.
Yeah.
Even if they show a certain amount of aptitude,
Well done.
it's like
Heads up, an enemy
it's
squad
like
marked you as a bounty
the
target.
punter is searching for talent, and talent is so not PC.
Yeah.
You've either got it or you win.
The two things just aren't connected, really, are they?
No, people won't put up with it.
Kill confirmed. Located the rest of them.
Well, I tell you, I watched a pod. I watched an episode on YouTube with Raymond moaning about his car.
Get ready. You're redeploying.
So it's so unattractive.
Yeah.
Moaning that you haven't got things going on anymore. And I think it is dangerous to feel sorry for yourself.
Yep.
And you just got to keep plodding away.
You got a loadout drop inbound.
Also, creating them if they're not there is probably the healthiest response you can possibly have to it as well.
You just gotta like come across as
We are returning you to the front.
fuck.
Earn
Yeah.
this.
People smell desperation. It's like desperation in an interview. It's too much. You don't want somebody
Failure
who
ain't
doesn't give a
fatal.
fuck.
It's
You
just
want
enough.
someone who gives too much of a fuck. It's a weird thing, that, isn't it? It's like being in a relationship and somebody loves you too much.
Yep.
It almost knocks the respect out of it.
Oh well, perhaps I'm going to benefit at some point from the fact that I genuinely give less and less of a fuck every couple of months these days.
Yeah.
Check your gear and weapons. We'll be deploying shortly. Enemies are dropping into the area. Watch you guys.
That was far too close.
All stations.
So you like
Shadow
Harry Peacock then?
01. Deployment to the war zone has
I
been
loved him.
authorized.
I always just, he's very subtle, but when he does comedy, he's amazing. And I backed him from the start. And I desperately wanted him, and I wrote the whole piece around him, and we weren't allowed him. They told us, don't do it. And because I was doing well at the time, I thought, oh, well, that's sad.
Yeah.
When I started not doing so well, I kind of thought,
Resurgence.
no, that's not sad.
Survive
That's a
the
fucking
countdown to
massive
earn redeployment.
injustice.
Yeah.
Secure kills to speed up the timer.
Funny how you get more compassionate towards people.
Enemies dropping into the AO.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Where the fuck did you come from?
Yeah, so many of the people that I came up with that are brilliant.
Good
that
kill.
are
Marking the rest of that
just
squad
like
on
me,
your
but
tac
without
map.
the voiceovers.
Get hunting.
And it just makes me, oh, it's such a
Be advised, enemies deployed a buy station. Time for vengeance. You're redeploying. Enemies are dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
It's funny to think though, isn't it, that
Marking the rest
somewhere
of
out there is a horse running with your character's name and stuff like that.
Yeah. Probably got shot ages.
Got gas moving in. Enemies dropping into the AO.
That was far too close.
Kill confirmed, and we located the rest of them. You're back on station. Go get
Yeah,
after it.
and that he can't bring that character back because he killed it immediately.
Friendly loadout drops on the way.
So I'm going to be in the tinsel town. Cancel that whole.
Hit
Yeah,
us hard that time.
Then you're getting so
Let's
close to
regroup
the
and get
town.
back up there, yep.
Yeah, that was kind of a shame, wasn't it? That it was killed immediately because it became like one of the more quoted things in Toast.
Yeah.
I remember we were on a ski lift in France on the Alps, and people were doing like the high wind stuff whilst on the lift. Do you know what I mean? And those were the kind of things that stuck from that show, weren't it? The ridiculous names,
Yeah.
like totally over the top, absurd characters. I always thought it was really funny where Harry Peacock, when he comes in and Toast's sleeping with his wife, and he just pulls out a revolver and fires 4 times into the ceiling and just caves the plaster in on himself. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. There was lots of beautiful bits in it.
The American one wasn't as funny though.
No, well, it's done, isn't it? It's done its time.
They hardly used Harry Peacock at all, did they? He had like 1 episode, I think, or something. So, you know, like one of the things about Toast was that he was always kind of Ray Purchase has always got to loom, hasn't he? If you know what I mean. And they just didn't any of the things that they did that worked really well. I get that they were trying to go in a different direction, but I don't know. It just wasn't as funny. I don't remember anything from it, to be honest.
No. I think everything just, like I remember when the writers cancelled, can't remember what it was, Heidi High or something, years ago as a kid, and I remember seeing the headline, the writers said there's only so much juice in an orange, and I just thought, oh, that's a really good way of putting it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Things are normally of their time, and then when you try
Check
and
your
come
weapons,
back
check
to
your
them,
gear. We're holding for deployment.
the Gavin and Stacey Christmas special, where people just
Hello there.
because of what it is, but if you break it down, it's just not actually that good.
Yeah.
Enemy soldier incoming.
Doesn't it seem absolutely wild now to think about that Ricky Gervais played like a miscellaneous disabled guy for 2 seasons and no one's really...
And nobody picks it up.
Yeah.
Nobody attacks him with it because they know he doesn't give a fuck. But if that was any other actor, their names would be regularly raked over the coals.
Resurgence. Survive and your team can redeploy. Eliminate targets to bring them back faster. Mark a drop point for your squad and lead them in. Contract mark.
Yes, let's take it.
Let's go for the bounty. Mark remaining
Next time
operators from that
I'll kill you
squad.
for
Hunt them
that.
down. Mark the target.
Act!
Your squad mates redeployed. Well done. Stand by for redeployment.
I get told off by Kelly a lot for the way every now and then I accidentally say Down syndrome boy rather than boy with Down syndrome.
Right.
She's a teacher, so she picks up on all these things like, oh, you're not supposed to define them by this and all that sort of stuff. But like,
Don't shoot.
when you're answering questions or talking about it a fair
Don't
bit,
shoot.
you know, you end up kind of
Hey, let me
shorthanding.
live, bro.
So there's no like malice in it or anything like that. It's just shorthanding, really.
It's a funny one, isn't it?
You've got reinforcements inbound.
Because you're close to it.
Gas is
I must
closing in.
admit, it's a funny one, right? And not to put it in the same category, but when I was married to a black woman, and then after a while, you got quite cocky with making jokes about it, as they did themselves. Not that I was an honorary black man or anything, but I was close to it, right? So when they were
Go get your revenge.
the Caribbean, so when they were taking this out of the Africans, which is a real thing that goes on, you can get
Squad mates back on
close to it and
station.
talk to it, and then suddenly
work.
when you're out of it,
Enemies are
you
dropping
look
into
back
the
and
area.
you
Watch
go,
the skies.
oh fuck, I must have sounded fucking terrible. So you can't win really, because every single black person feels completely different about how who they are. And my ex-wife didn't really give a fuck about being black. Her mum was white. She looked more black.
Yeah.
She had no interest in
Loadout drop
history
headed your
of
way.
black slavery or anything like
Yeah.
that. And when I blacked up as Obama, I remember saying to her, I think this is wrong, and she went, nah, no, gives a fuck, take the money and
Get
run.
ready. You're redeploying.
But I can't use that now.
Yeah.
So I would. Because now it's like saying my best friend is gay black person. But it is very taking fire about it is when you're insanely close
Marking
to
the
it
rest of
and
that
you
squad on
live
your attack map.
with the subject matter every day, you do get to throw away about it.
Yeah. Definitely. And I've noticed it. My sister is going to be getting married to a black guy. So it would be my brother-in-law called Shannon. And the jokes between them are getting like bordering on racist because it's like a safety bubble. But I just never know like whether like a slight change in context. Because like, when my sister's saying to him, every now and then I'll think like, Jesus, you know, it's like very much a thing that they're a mixed race couple. And even now and then, like, I'll have a joke with them saying like, oh, you're going to get a Halifax advert anytime soon and all that sort of stuff. But you do get like a feeling of like a safety, don't you?
Yeah.
Having said that, I do get exposed to more racism when I'm like out riding the if we go on a bike ride together. It's like people in like the country lane type houses think like a black guy on a bike is something different or something. I don't know. They like shout stuff at him.
Yeah, well, all the African countries were horrible.
We are returning you to the front.
When we were in
Earn
Egypt,
this.
she got stopped everywhere, and they treated her like shit. And in Australia, they were disgusting.
Oh really?
Yeah, really bad. And you only notice it when you're just right next to
Yeah.
that person all the time. So it definitely still... It's definitely, yeah, it's still a huge thing. Slavery thing. Once you start looking into that, every single minority has been a slave.
Yeah.
You got gas moving in.
Again, not something I would say out loud. That was the thing where I was watching that Graham Linehan thing, and I was just like, yeah, but why did you get involved, Graham? All the way through, I was listening to it.
Alright, your squad's in the safe zone.
But why did you choose to do this?
Down to you, soldier. Stay sharp.
Yeah.
We lost that one, but we'll get those sumbitches next
Yeah,
time.
I'm not sure why he injected himself so much into the debate. He must have felt such a strong sense of injustice or something, because there's not much in it for you at a certain point, is there? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think he like many people, like Russell T Davis is doing, their arrogance and their ego lets them believe that they are far much more than they actually are. And that they can have everybody look up to them and say to them, well, you're just amazing, you're just changing lives. And the truth is like, I remember seeing an older gay activist from the 80s saying they can all fuck off with this rainbow flag. I can't be represented by the rainbow flag. It's like, it's embarrassing. He said, it's like, take me to meet the king of gay, the leader of the gays. And it's just like, it just doesn't work like that. And that's I know we've spoken about this lots,
it's
but
a bit abstract, isn't it?
When you're getting to that one person being a mouthpiece for all Down syndrome people, it's like, you can't, can you? Because each individual person has a completely different path. They might not feel like that. And also to be labelled as something rather than just getting on with your life. I mean, it's good to identify everything that he needs going forwards, but he is an individual, isn't he?
Yeah.
Very much so. And it's sort of hard for one person to tell you, as the father of a Down syndrome child, how you should feel and how he should feel. It's almost impossible. And that's what all those activists can truly fuck off about, really, is, and as you get older, you realise you just don't know anything. The more knowledge you gain, the more you realise that everything is far more complex than you ever thought it was.
Yeah. I've even had discussions with people who have been advising me on how I should term things around my son and everything, who have got no qualifications in it whatsoever, but they've got their strong opinions, and that's that. And it was, yeah, literally like what we just said there. I said I said something like Down syndrome boys typically don't do this, so you know, I was just explaining, and that's how I worded the phrase. And they're like, oh, you can't say that, and it wasn't Kelly, it was someone else. They're like, oh, you shouldn't say that because you're labelling him and you're doing that. And I said, look, like, that is literally just for me the fastest route to get the thought out of my head is what I'm doing there. And I said, what are the chances that I am going to segregate my own child? You know, it's like when you're sort of having the discussion, there's a sort of breed of righteous person. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't give a fuck that he's got Down syndrome, really. Like, some stuff is more fun, some stuff is less fun. The less fun stuff is usually if you have to have like an unnecessary hospital appointment that any other kid wouldn't have. You know, just checkups to make sure there's no seizures or anything like that. But I give a fuck to the extent that I'll make his life as easy as possible. But all the other stuff around it, I don't pay too much attention to, really. And I think that's fine, do you know what I mean? But you've always got someone who will tell you how you should be talking and how you should be addressing him and how you should be and all that. And I don't know, I think people think too hard on the wording and don't think enough on the intent, maybe.
Targets
or
are
like,
marked on your TAC map.
you know, because intent is pretty much everything, isn't it, in those situations?
Yeah.
Like if you hate Down syndrome kids, it doesn't matter how you talk to them. Do you know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter.
But also, like, the grey matter of that is that, you know, each child is individual, but you can literally say the thing is with a Down syndrome child, you know.
Yeah.
The thing is like you live with it. There is no right and wrong way. The right way is that everything is individual and just shut the fuck up
Yep.
and not really have
Also, I don't want us to live so carefully
Gas
that
is
it's
closing in.
that there is an added stress surrounding the, you know, the sort of like the finer details all the time. I don't want that to be what we're focusing on. I'd rather be like, okay, now we're going to learn this. Now we're going to try and get you good at doing this, and you know, we're not going to push this too hard because this will exhaust you and things like that. Like, I'd rather be thinking like that than thinking, you know, oh God, have I got the phrase exactly how the world thinks that should be said and everything like that. And it's not like holding on to an old way or something like that. It's just like not jumping on people, including yourself, if every now and then what comes out of your mouth is a bit lazy, because that's what it is sometimes. It's lazy. Like if you're talking about Down syndrome 100 times a day, you're not always going to say a boy with Down syndrome, a boy with Down syndrome. It's just it's a mouthful. It's hard work.
definitely.
Recon is online!
Copy. UAV orbiting the AO. Recon is online.
Also, I kind of want him to grow up to not give too much of a fuck as well. That would be good for him, I'd imagine. Like, he's going to encounter people that are going to say terrible things to him, but everyone does. Do you know what I mean? It's just that his will might be more related around disability. There's a higher probability. There's something to be spoken about, but everyone does. You're always going to encounter a cunt. Do you know what I mean? Like, it might be because you're ginger. It might be because you put on weight or lost weight or something like that. Like, but with him, it's more likely that it could have something related to Downs, and he's just got to not. I've just got to gear him up that doesn't bother him too much, really.
Yeah.
I was saying to Kelly, there's no point in trying to cleanse the world of how other people do things, because it's like trying to, you know, do your grass with by picking the blades one at a time, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just undoable. Good stuff, man.
You got a loadout drop inbound. Gas is closing in. Relocating the safe zone. Loadout drop headed your way.
Right, I got hit in the hay.
No worries. I'm gonna do the same off this game.
Alright, mate. Have a good and I'll speak to you soon.
Cool. Right. Catch you later. Give me a shout if you need any help with anything on the podcast.
Thank you, mate. If there's just anybody you can think of or spread it around, just
Cool.
do what you're doing. Thank
Okey-dokey.
you, mate.
Right.
Night.
See you in a bit, mate.
ground. Move it. Gas is closing in. Get to the new safe zone. Gas is inbound. Enemies dropping into the AO. time. Let's regroup and get... Gear up fast, we're about to get evil. All stations, we are green to go. Stand by for deployment.
Prep for dust off. We're up in 3 mics. Let's move. Here we are. Head shed gave the green light. We're deploying you to the front lines. You're up. Grab your chutes. You are cleared hot on all threats. Watch your ass down there.
Let's roll. Battle Royale.
barking
You got
contract.
gas closing in fast. Unass yourself to the safe zone. Positive ID on multiple strongholds. Locations are marked on your TAC map. Positive ID on the bounty targets. Hunt them down. All bounty targets destroyed. Hell of a job. Gas is moving. Gave it a solid try. Time to head back to base.
Hey man,
Hello, brother.
let's see if
Can
we
you hear
can.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you good. Let's try one and see if we can get in a game. There you go.
I don't think so.
Has it been happening to you all day?
I tried all day to get a game, but I didn't get. In Modern Warfare example, Meet 24/7, it worked. It find me a game.
Okay, cool.
but I waited like a minute, I guess. I checked in Activision and it said that I'm under a review.
Yeah, you've probably been reported by a squad or something like that. It'll probably be gone
I
tomorrow.
played like in last 3 days. If you remember, I was level 70 when we played. If you
Yeah.
remember me.
Oh, so you've
And I grinded so much, you know, for interstellar camo, and I played like 10 hours a day, and probably got reported, you know.
Yeah, I reckon so. Well, let's try. Let's see if we can do it. I've not been playing
How are
too
you,
well
by
today.
the way?
Yeah, good. I'm a bit tired because I've got like a 2-year-old boy and he doesn't sleep so well at the moment. So like I'm not playing very well
It's
today.
okay. Everybody goes through this. It's part of life.
Yeah, I'm still kind of like not used to being someone's dad, if you know what I mean. Like it takes a lot of
Yeah,
work.
I understand what you mean.
I can't believe you got shadow banned. I think it's happened to me once before because I had a day where I could only get search with 200 millisecond ping. So maybe I did, yeah. I snipe a lot, and
It's so
people
crazy.
report you a lot for sniping.
I don't know. It's so hard, you know, because I was grinding for that interstellar, but it's okay because there is no shipment map, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's kind of hard to grind for camos if there's no shipment map.
Do you think this game is a lot harder on keyboard and mouse than Warzone 1 and 2?
Yesterday I got a PS5 controller. I tried to play it for my first time, you know.
Yeah,
For myself, it was so hard, so fucking hard.
because you're not.
I feel a lot more faster and a good movement in keyboard and mouse for myself. But for aim, I think yeah, controller should be better because they have aim assist somehow.
Yeah, I get killed from across the map like in 1 second so easily on this game, even though like I move really fast. But having close range
Because of
fights.
aim assist.
Yeah, well, like the aim assist is
Yeah,
so
in
strong.
close range, I guess. In close range, they are so strong, I guess. But in long range, they suck, I guess.
Yeah, I think mostly. I reckon we'll still find a game.
You will wait, maximally 2 minutes if you want. Because I don't want to waste your time.
Let's give it 5 minutes and see if it works. And only because it's
Okay.
quite late here. I've got time for one game. But if it doesn't find one, I'll just go to bed for the night and try and
Alright.
deal with my kid. What do you do for a job?
I'm a student. I study dentistry, but right now I tear my ACL, if you know what it is.
Anterior cruciate ligament. You got an injury.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
Anterior.
painful.
It's so painful. I got just randomly playing football for fun, you know,
Yeah.
and I tear it totally rupture.
Oh fuck, that's bad. I
And I need to go surgeon after, but right now I need just to stay as much as possible just to recover.
so you can play a
And
lot of
that's why I'm
Warzone.
playing. Yeah, that's why I played so much.
I've got quite a few injuries like that because I train at the gym quite a lot, and I've got like like a rotator cuff tear in your shoulder. So like my shoulder is basically fucked.
Yeah, and because of what?
I think because
Because what you did?
I got lazy when I was doing pull-ups. You know, like when you're pulling up on the
Yeah,
bars. I think I just like
yeah.
at the end of a workout got tired and just let myself drop a little bit, and it just you don't have to do much to do that damage. So now like everything I do in life, even using a mouse, actually hurts a little bit sometimes. But it's a complicated thing to have surgery on.
Better to go and check. Yeah, better to go and check in with
Yeah.
the doctor or do an X-ray or something.
Yeah, but it's
Man, I'm feeling this game to play so much, but I'm shadow banned.
Are you shadow banned from all of it? Are you banned from Modern Warfare as well.
From in websites say it from all, but in Modern Warfare 3 I can play multiplayer, you know.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I have seen a lot on Twitter though, people talking about everyone getting shadow banned. It's because everyone hates players who kill them. They just mass report them.
Yeah. I saw a clip today that a guy killed on team wipe trio, and they spam report same at the same time, three of them,
God.
and he just got disconnected after.
What DPI and sensitivity are you playing at the moment?
I play 400 DPI and sensitivity in game. Wait, I need to check. I think. Wait.
I've changed mine a couple of times today and really messed up my play.
400 DPI and 8 sensitivity in game, I guess. It says 8.
Yeah. So I'm basically the same as that really. I'm playing at 800 DPI but 4 sensitivity, so it's the same really.
Yeah, it's the same. Probably.
But I changed. Earlier on I played on 1600 DPI with 2.6 sensitivity, and I've totally messed up my muscle memory. So like I'm missing shots now because I've changed back. So it's the worst thing you can do is like change it too much.
I'm just changing, just changing too much. Have you tried last year in 2023 to play for WSOW? That was in London, qualifying?
No, I haven't played that. I was probably good enough at one point in Warzone 1 because I played a lot. In this one, I would say I'm not quite good enough. Like I'm always tired or like playing the last thing at night
Yeah,
after.
you are not 100% of yourself.
No, not at the moment. But maybe I would try and get back to being as good as that. But I used to be able to like quick scope really easily and wipe teams on my own and stuff. Whereas in this, I don't think I've really wiped many teams on my own. I'm still good enough, like I'm probably about the same level as Gazim. We're probably similar sort of
Yeah,
level.
yeah, understand.
But my KD's way worse in this because I'm like pushing people too much. I just keep pushing everyone. Too aggressive.
Yeah, that's enjoyable when you push them in the kill.
I used to play the Car 98 and stuff. I used to like push people with a sniper and sprint around and one shot people with a sniper, and I just can't. I can't really. There's no way of doing that in this one. The snipers are too slow.
But I think it's not very hard to qualify for this tournament, as I saw the qualifiers. I watched them on Twitch, the qualifiers of last year. It doesn't seem they are very, very good players,
Is it still open?
Last year. It was last year, VSL Open Qualifier.
Oh, okay. No, did you try it? Oh yeah.
No, I wasn't playing Call of Duty all the time. But I have interest in it if it's gonna be in this year because it looks simple, to qualify.
Maybe we should all try it.
Yeah.
And we can get Gazim and Armand and the other guy. Have you played with Avtex before?
No, I didn't play, but the tournament was only for trio.
Oh, okay, we can just next time we can just get Gazim in and see how we do. Me and him win quite a lot of duos together.
You'll fuck them.
Are you in Macedonia or Albania?
I live in Kosovo.
Oh, you live in Kosovo?
Yeah, we just got visa free.
Oh, nice. So I've got season tickets to Arsenal, and I brought a Kosovan guy who runs like a Arsenal fan forum. So I met him on there. He was like the admin guy, who runs this Arsenal forum. and
For Kosovo.
yeah, so he's like works for the Kosovan government. He works for like cyber security in Kosovo, and like I didn't know him before this, but he came over to England to do, like a training program to go to like
Yeah.
English Parliament
Yeah.
and government, and he came to Arsenal with me a few times, Kosovan guy, recently.
And what you do for a living? Because I think forgot. Home. What you do for a living?
So I own my own media company, but basically I'm an editor really. So I work as an editor.
Yeah. I forgot that. I forgot that. You told me already. Sorry.
Oh yeah. So
You told
it's
me the night we play.
so it's like advice to people who have their own businesses and things like that. It's like
Yeah.
digital magazines and websites and things like that, basically. So it's quite good.
Brother, I don't want to waste your time, but if you want, we can wait. But I don't want to waste your time because, maybe it's 2 a.m. in London, yeah? In UK.
It's 12:30. So let's try and research. Let's give it one more go, and then if it doesn't work, we'll play tomorrow or something like that.
I hope I got unbanned tomorrow. I just got today banned. It
I
means yesterday.
I think it'll be quick. But it's good that you're playing though, because I've been wanting more people to play with, because playing solos really sucks on this.
Yeah, it's very, very annoying. Very, very annoying.
I don't play like a rat, like I don't hide in buildings.
I
or
just
anything like
finished it. Yeah, I don't play like that too. I just finished it like camping of Modern Warfare 3. It was nice camping.
that.
Some missions.
Yeah.
Did you finish that?
Which mission?
All missions of Modern Warfare 3, to play the missions with ghosts, and others, like a movie.
I don't.
I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah.
if you understand.
The campaign, like the main story.
Yeah, the main story.
Yeah.
With Makarov.
I think the best one was the Modern Warfare 1 out of the three stories. I thought Modern Warfare 1 was the best one, but I do like them. Yeah, I've been looking for a new game to play at the moment, like a new single player game. But I don't know, I looked through the Steam store and I feel like there's nothing that interests me anymore. Like I want something new and really good, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand it well.
I used to play Battlefield a lot, but they just killed it. Like the new one isn't good.
I like Battlefield 1 much. I never ever played Battlefield, but I just liked it as a game. But when Battlefield 1 was released, I didn't have a good PC at the time.
That game looked amazing. It still looks good now.
Yeah.
It's like 8 years ago now, and it still looks better than Warzone. Right, it doesn't look like this is going to work, does it?
Yeah, but probably just leaving when I get on band. I'll text you because I will play every day right now. But I hope I get on band soon.
Well, I play most nights, and I know the other guys are going to play quite a lot as well. So, yeah, give me a message when you're next on, and we'll have some games because I think we'll get wins.
You on Steam.
Cool.
Yeah, of course. See you. Good night. Have a good night.
And you, man. Take care. See you later.